Happy Friday. Mayor Dan Pope with the weekly update. And I'm shooting this week's update early because I'm in Laredo this week on transportation business. Our Interstate 27 Advisory Committee meets in Laredo. We'll also have a PortstoPlains board meeting down there following that meeting. We'll be visiting the bridge, the Gateway Bridge. That, Laredo is the largest inland port in North America. It's the second busiest port next to the LA Long Beach seaport. But about 16,000 trucks a day come from Mexico into Texas. The vast majority, 12,000 to 13,000 of those cross in Laredo. And so it's good to have them on our I-27 team. And we're still working on this project. We will continue to. The funding now is, we have a chance with the recent designation to go after federal funding, and we'll be working hard on that. Next week in our council meeting, we'll be discussing a number of items, but I promised you an update on ARPA. Remember, that's the American Rescue Plan Act. Those are COVID recovery dollars that have come to our community. They come in two tranches, one last spring, the second one this spring. They have to be spent, have to be allocated by the end of 24, spent by the end of 26. And we're pretty far down the road on that. We're, just as a reminder, we've spent money on cybersecurity. It's trying to harden our network, and it's with what's going on around the world every day, but particularly the bad actors in Russia. That's a piece of work we never finish. We're also working with some home builders and with Habitat for Humanity to be a partner in some infrastructure work that should create about 150 new owner-occupied households in East Lubbock. With the county and StarCare, as well as Covenant and UMC and Texas Tech, we are partnering to create a diversion center. I think we'll call it the Hope Center. It's I would call it a mental health emergency room. So when our law enforcement runs into mental health situations, today they have two choices: either one of the emergency rooms or to the jail. Most often, there's a much more appropriate way of handling this, and this diversion center would be that. It would allow for mental health consults. It would allow for navigators to help get these citizens back on track. It's a great program, something we're real excited about. We've also set aside money for small business grants for the arts community, and grants for nonprofits. We will finalize those processes at our meeting on Tuesday. We continue to work on our job training efforts. Right now, there's 3 or 4 things inside that. The one that we'll take action on first is some scholarship money targeted at the medical field, specifically nursing, and a few other key position types where we're having a hard time attracting folks in our community. Broadband, we've set aside money for that. We're working with the state and the feds for broadband funding to expand our broadband in our community. We're trying to get broadband everywhere. It's important that parts of our community that aren't served by broadband get that. That's the currency of the future. We've set aside some money for homelessness. The work continues on that. We're not quite ready we're not to solutions on that, but that money will be there. And then finally, we spent, maybe most importantly, we spent about $10 million of our money on public safety. Some of that's in this year's budget where it's already been spent. Some of that will be spent this year. Those are police and fire vehicles, fire training equipment and facilities, just a number of things for the police that allow them to do their job better. You can go back and follow the details on that. Finally, we've allocated some money for parks, quite a bit of money for parks. We're trying to figure out how we prioritize that, and we'll be talking about that at our meeting on the 26th also. So that's what we've been doing with ARPA. You can follow along. You can look at the ARPA segment. We've talked about it at every council meeting this year, and we'll talk about it on Tuesday night. Finally, a few reminders. Next Wednesday, the final Coffee with the Mayor. It's going to be downtown at the McDougal Towers in the first floor at Nuke's, the sandwich shop there. They'll be open early. It's at 7:30 in the morning, as usual. Hope to see you there. Earth Day on Broadway is later today. Once again, it's the first time we've done this. A lot of fun, music, food, games, vendors there. Fun for all ages. Check that out. And finally, the marathon is on Sunday. We'll see you there. There's a lot going on in our community. I'm thankful for all of your support, your good ideas, your words of prayer. I'll talk to you again next week.